What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Business of Strength podcast. I'll be your host today, Dan Goodman, and I am in the office here in Orangeburg getting prepared for this weekend's trip to Rhode Island. We're going up with 6 team members, and I'm going to be presenting at Perform Better for the NSCA for the Rhode Island State Conference. I'm super excited. It's really a full circle moment. I know people bust my chops about the jersey on the wall if you're watching on YouTube, but I went to school in Rhode Island for 5 years. The great University of Rhode Island was a Rhodey Ram, and it is a place that is near and dear to me. Some of my lifelong friends I met at that school, and it's really become a part of my adult life as well, where we vacation there. I take my son there, my wife, my brother, and it's just those were the formidable years of my life. And I look back on where the work ethic was created and it was in that state. And I'm forever grateful for that. So to Coach Scott Leach bringing me back and putting me on the stage to be able to speak to strength coaches, gym owners, aspiring gym owners, it's going to be a full circle moment and something that I'm very grateful for. So, what I was tasked with talking about was 5 ways that gyms stack cash. And really, it's 5 ways gyms can create predictable income. And I'm sitting here going over my slides and the stories and the trials and tribulations. And one thing's really capturing my attention, and I know it's something that always sends shockwaves through the crowd, and something that people always will ask me after the presentation or shoot me an email on. And really the biggest thing, and I'm starting the presentation with this, and this episode will release after the presentation. But the number one thing, obviously, for all successful gyms is the vision. Like, what is the vision? Where's the place going? Obviously, we've hammered vision down, but like, why should we be bought into what you do? After that comes the economic objectives. And really, this is what I'm going to be talking about and what I want to hammer home on this podcast. Oftentimes, people will never write down their economic objectives, and it's based on feel. It's based on, well, I feel like we need, or just if we had, or it's like a pie in the sky pipe dream of where they think they need to be, but they've never quantified actually what success looks like. And for a gym business, look, the reality is this: 81% of gym businesses don't make it past 1 year. And I know, like, some people will start an LLC, they're a part-time personal trainer, but let's say 60%. That's still 6 out of 10 don't get past 1 year. And instead of the vision being this pie in the sky of like, oh, 10 years from now, my 10-year target. No, screw that. 1 year. I'm shooting this episode, it's March 6th. Okay, so on March 6th, 2026, if you're listening to this episode, how many clients are you going to be serving? What is going to be the price per client? So, in other words, what are they buying? What's the frequency? What does it cost? What's the value proposition? Like, what is it? So, how many people? What are they buying? We know by when. By when is March 6th, 2026. And the last thing, the fourth thing is why you? What is the unique selling position that you have in the community? Do you guarantee results? Is it fun? Do you have some type of specialty product in your gym? What is it that makes you special? What is it that makes you that gives you a differentiating factor amongst the others in your community? I use this as an example for Varsity House in 2006. It was one of the original gyms that was literally in a loading dock, a trucking loading dock that had tires, hammers, chains, loud music. The place was a vibe, and it attracted a certain type of warrior training mentality. That was the unique selling position then. Obviously, things have changed. We still have a scientific approach to training. We guarantee results. We hold people accountable. We market and sell high quality coaching, right? We sell the results. We sell the feeling. Okay. But first things first, if you're listening to this show, You need to understand your three economic objectives. This is something that Donald Miller has hammered home. It's something that we've adopted. We have them on the boards. If you're watching this on YouTube, we have these boards printed for our coaches. They're in our line of sight. By January 1st of 2026, exactly how many people we're serving, in which communities we're serving them up, why we're doing it. Our why is simple. I'll read it right from the page. Because our communities deserve results-based training that drastically improves their lives and becomes the best hour of their day. How do we get there? We stay committed to our core values of being hungry, humble, committed, and socially smart. The critical actions that we need to do to support these economic objectives, we need to serve up an offer every single day. This offer could be an offer of service. This offer could be for somebody to return back to the gym. The offer could be for a referral. The offer could be to our social media followers to come try a front-end offer. Right now, we're selling athlete open enrollment and a 6-week transformation. There's an offer for people to do business with us that happens every single day. The critical actions on the floor, we deliver results. We measure results. What gets measured gets improved upon, and we hold our clients accountable to those things. And the number one way for clients to get results is to show up. That's our coach's job. If a client's booked in and they don't show up, we pick up the phone, we ask where they are. Okay, that's the leading indicator for success. And the third factor, the third critical action is to be swift. We talk about interpersonal code of conduct here at Varsity House all the time. The SWIFT policy is you have to smile every day. You have to work the room. Every time you're on the floor, you have to work the room, address people by their name. You have to be interested in what they're doing and focused. You have to instigate success. You're there to egg people on in a positive way. You have to find a friend, right? There should be people on the floor that you gravitate to, that you ask, that you know about, right? Find friends and be thankful. If you're a privately owned gym, you should thank people for coming in every single day, because without them, you have no gym. Flat out. Thank people, be appreciative. And those are the critical actions to support our 2026 economic objectives. Now, when people say, okay, well, I've got the objectives part down now. Now what? Now, here's where the budget really comes into play. And I'll be breaking down the budget at the NSCA event quite a bit. But a target budget, and this is something that Mike Waldron and financial fitness and CFOs will talk about all the time, but a standard budget for a healthy gym business would be a 30% profit margin, a 35% payroll, what we call a salary cap for team members, 15% variable expense, which would be things like education, meals and entertainment, equipment, some marketing costs, right? And then 20% is reserved for fixed expenses, things like rent, credit card processing fees, insurance, garbage removal, things that are expenses that are never going to go away. All right. And that's the baseline. That's the baseline that we try and keep. Okay. So that's the 1-2 punch for running a business that will sustain. One is, what are my economic objectives? And two is, what is my supporting budget to get there? And to all the people that are listening to this, and I know we've got some strong people and some meatheads that listen to this, think about it like this, right? Think about if you have a big time lofty like a big aspiration for training. Let's say you're going to run an Ironman. Okay, well, that's the goal. We know what the goal is. Okay, this is where we're at. This is the goal. This is when we're running the Ironman. Okay, now we're working backwards. How much volume of training and what am I going to need to do in order to hit my said goal? Well, the same thing is, okay, we have our lofty goal. We have our economic objectives. Okay, well, what's the plan to get there? The plan is the budget. The plan is the budget. Okay, this could be allocating money towards marketing. Usually, marketing and coaches, if you're in a mature business, that's what it's going to take to hit your desired outcome in terms of economic objectives. So you can have the lofty goals. You have to have a budget that supports getting there. And obviously, a budget's like a knob. All right. If your rent is really low, well, then you should be able to spend a little bit more on marketing. If you're somebody that's really involved on the coaching floor and still really active in the business, then maybe your payroll could be a little bit lower. If your variable expense is super high, like print out the credit card bill. Are there some things that you can rein in a little bit to redirect to hire a high quality coach or spend more money on marketing? Or are there some facility needs that you need to spend on in order to attract a higher tier client, right? Maybe you have some attrition issues because things are always broken or filthy or dirty, whatever it may be. But those are really, really critical components in order to run a sustainable gym. A sustainable gym. I always tell the story, and it's worth mentioning again. When we first started working with our remote CFO, he's like, "Hey, you guys lifted the plane. You're flying across country. You guys got some gas. The engines are on. You're flying. You're going. But you have no idea how to land this thing smoothly. There and if you don't figure it out, you're going to eventually run out of gas." And really, for us, it wasn't about how to service, right? We knew how to do that. It wasn't how to sell. We knew how to do that, but we did not know where the money needed to be reapplied. We did not have a budget. We did not have an economic objective other than it was just like, we want to be $1 million gym. That was it. That was our economic objective. But once we got clear on what it was going to take and what the budget needed to be to support that goal, it became crystal clear of the things that we needed to do. And this weekend at the NSCA event, I'm really looking forward to breaking that down in detail for those attendees. And if you can't make it or you didn't make it to the event on May 9th and 10th here in Orangeburg, New York, we are going to be going over all things associated with money and finance for gym owners. It is called Weight Room Wealth. We've got an awesome lineup. We've got our team members. We have financial advisor. We're going to be talking marketing. We're going to be talking budgets. We're going to be talking sessions that sell. We're going to be talking about an athlete program that in 3 hours a day generates $30,000 a month. It is an event that you don't want to miss. Weight Room Wealth, May 9th and 10th. As always, I appreciate you tuning in and have a great day. See you later, guys.